Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hello. So, how's your morning been so far?
Not bad. Not bad. We had a good day on Monday. Had another good day trading yesterday. I was telling you before we went live here, taking a couple losses today. So ended the winning streak today. Not 100% sure what I'd like to see out of the market today. The daily chart. So I have today. I have the NASDAQ NQ on the right-hand side here. I have ES on the top left. I have RTY on the bottom left here. Just so we can kind of watch those all in unison today. I don't have the data subscription for YM, but maybe I'll get it for Friday or next week. But we look at the NQ daily chart here. We had the major breakdown, obviously. Things have been super bearish. And then over the last week or so, the market's seen a solid bounce here. So, with how strong a move down, I think this bounce could potentially just be essentially a pullback in a downtrend still. But we'll see. I think we said on Monday that like 4 out of the 5 last crashes have bottomed in March. I don't necessarily want that to be too big of a dictating factor, but I don't want to be overly bullish with how big of a move we got down here. But sometimes when the crashes or the sell-offs end, they flip pretty quickly. So I'm open to either direction today.
Savor the flavor, because you don't hear Tyler say that too often.
Yeah. Normally, based off like the daily and weekly chart, I have some sort of bias coming into the day, and a lot of times I'll have a scenario for both directions. But I don't really have. I have a level down at 409, 20,409. So that's about 50 points lower. We can pull back into that level that we created yesterday. I'll watch for reactions from there, whether we hold it or start to fail it. And then above, we have room. This yellow dotted line is the overnight opening print. This white dotted line is the New York session high from yesterday. For the overnight session, we tested above the highs and then failed it, and we've basically downtrended since. A little fake out, sweep above these highs, and then made a lower low. But other than that, pretty clean trend. Broke down here, made a lower high, made a new low, so lower low, lower high, lower low. Consolidated here, lower high, lower low. A little fake out, liquidity grab, you could call it here, with this sweep above the highs, and then all the way down to a new lower low, and we've kind of just continued in that downtrendy type of vibe. So based off where we're opening, I kind of expect us to come down and test 20,409 and have that level trade. Then we can make some decisions from there. Oh, I don't even have comments on. Morning, real life. Morning, Ashton. Yeah, everything's kind of choppy and rangy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we're opening pretty much smack dab in the middle of yesterday's range on the indexes. Market opening in about 30 seconds here. Brian, I don't know if you have any thoughts on gold or if you're watching for anything specific.
Gold moved in some decent 100 pip moves. Let me see, 24, 17, maybe 50. Choppy bit on a big scale. So the 15-minute chart would have given you a good opportunity during London. I should say really late Asia than London. Right now, I just went short on gold. Usually don't like to be too wide open on the New York Open, but the candlestick I wanted occurred at 30 minutes ago. And before the stream, Tyler and I were talking, and I was saying I was a little upset because I thought I missed my candle. But the next one did swing back up right when we started the stream, so I was able to get in some positions in my little zone that I like to do. So I'm short on it now. What I'm about to say, I think kind of resonates from what I think you said a moment ago, maybe a version of it. I could go either direction. I'm short right now. Gold is, one would say, between key levels, but it's also on a bounce. I mean, I'm seeing like a bounce up. You could go long, sideways potentially, or it's a fake bounce, and I'm going short. So I think I just said everything. Just way too many options right now, but I'm definitely going short on a tight stop.
Yeah, I have gold kind of been in the overnight session, kind of been ranging between two levels I have on the gold futures chart. A little bit of buying out of the gate. I think there is news today, but it's just crude oil inventories.
Yeah, some durable goods, nothing big.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some other data too, but yeah, I don't think it was restricted. YM looking like the strongest index right now. Actually, the only one I don't have pulled up. It's above its overnight high, and it's currently tagging yesterday's high. YM's up 0.25% on the day, while ES is quite literally a break even, 0%. NQ down 0.15%. RTY is also strong. So RTY and YM with a little bit of relative strength. RTY is up 0.3% on the day. YM pushing pretty good here. ES and NQ, see if they play a little bit of catch up. So yeah, we're looking. I don't have my screen up, but I'll put it up real quick just to. So Ray, you talked about relative strength a little bit on Monday. And so we can see, I don't have YM up, but the Russell RTY here, you can see the overnight action getting a real strong push above its highs, while NQ putting in this inverted red bar, ES trying to hang on, but also similar action to NQ, and RTY and YM are both seeing this kind of pump to new highs. So some relative strength there. Like I said, I want to see 409 trade on NQ. If NQ can trade 409 and show signs of holding that, while RTY and YM remain strong, you can look for longs, I think. The ES level is 58.1350. But that's what I'm looking at here. Gold should reach 3,047. Man, Brian, it's funny how your key levels are your blue lines, right?
Blue lines, and sometimes you'll see some gray boxes. They kind of tell me two things.
Yeah. Yeah, they often line up with my my hourly levels. Not like exactly, but pretty similar. Like your the one at 3:30, 31 is similar to the futures one I have.
Okay, that's good. Says we're doing something right. But yeah, viewer said gold should reach 3047. You sound pretty confident. Tell me when it's going to do that so I can go long. It will hit 3047 right after 3046 and just before 3048. That's my prediction.
And so I think the point Brian's trying to make there, ladies and gentlemen, is nobody knows what's going to happen in the market. You can, right? You can.
It's my smart ass way of saying it.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'm always welcoming people's opinion, because if it should reach that and you think so, tell us why, because I'm always open to learn. Maybe you read some news. Maybe it's something, a pattern you see commonly, you know? I like to hear
I'm
everything.
looking. So my lower level on gold is, if it on your chart, it would be around 30.19. So if I were to trade gold right now, it's looking kind of downtrendy on the 5-15 minute. I would be looking to short down to 30.19 as a scalp, and then from there, wait and see.
Yeah, the 15, if I switch over to it, I think it kind of better demonstrates why I took the short. So on the 15-minute candle,
No,
this
I like the short. Yeah, I think the short's
yeah,
the better play right now.
sure. But just giving my justification on it was the 15 that lured me in. It's kind of all I was going to really
Gotcha.
point at. Yeah. That candle I highlighted at the bottom of it to where I wanted, and then I liked this bounce rejection, but it ended bearish in the lower area of that go candle I have. So I was worried that this candle, the next candle that my cursor's on, that it was going to maybe kind of go parallel sideways, which would have told me we might range for a little bit. So hopefully the current bearish candle holds, and you and me are right on our opinion there. So
Yeah, we'll see. So I just updating on what I'm watching here. NQ came down and traded down to 413, but didn't trade the level, missed it by 4 points, and then ES and NQ both saw a nice bounce back above the opening print. So nothing for me without the level test. I'm gonna stay patient.
another thing I'd point out on gold currently, I'm looking at the 15, is right in here, you had some lower highs. So we're going up higher highs. We hit lower. My concern, however, and the reason I say potential ranginess, is when you look at that uptrend right there, that's potentially happening. Will gold break through that right now or not? Or is it going to bounce? So might take a position off the table. That scares me right there. But because it was a lower high, I feel like it potentially could break out. I just, too often, man, it'll come in here and go, I don't know what to do. And then you're just paper cutting yourself to death.
There's a speech today. Is that happening? Is that true? Who's talking? BL boy, who you talking about in the speech?
Yeah, I don't know who's talking today. Come on.
You said you typed the speak is 1 hour after the new 4-hour candle. I think maybe you meant like sweep or something. Like, I think you might have just done a typo.
Okay.
I thought you said like there's a speech that you're talking about. I didn't read the whole thing. All right, so ES just ES just pushed to is it new highs, overnight highs? No, just swept this little 5-minute range high that we had, but index is looking strong. The VIX is moving lower. NQ still the weakest index on the day. It's the only index that's still technically red on the day. It's down 25 points, so everything else is up a little bit. See if it can maybe play a little catch up. Ideally, if we could get a 2-minute high or low that retest the opening print on NQ if we're not going to test the level, but I don't know if it's going to come back and give us that. ES looks like it's ready to go. It's pushing. YM's really pushing. Could potentially take NQ long here above the opening print, but I'm going to hold off for now. Stay patient. Although that VIX candle is pretty. Just don't like the NQ relative weakness right now. Technically, Fed's Kashkari, and they speak at 10. Okay, okay. Hans, Brian, do you have is there a resource that you use for news releases?
I use Forex Factory.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Forex Factory is a popular one. To be honest with you, I'm just I mostly find out through a Discord I'm in, just people talking about it ahead of time. Is mostly how I keep up with it. That, and I look at whatever's restricted from FunderPro, and that gives me an idea.
I have Forex Factory on my open on my monitors 24 hours a day on the calendar view. I will usually show Sunday through Saturday, and then filter it out on red and yellow folders, so I only see the medium to high grade stuff. I don't really have any alerts or alarms set on it.
Gold gave us that little push down that we were looking for. Are you still in your gold short?
Yeah.
Did you take it? Probably okay.
I should have taken some off the table.
Yeah, it missed. It didn't trade the level by like a stinking tick as well. NQ's getting the little bit of a 2-minute pullback into the opening print. If it can we're tagging the opening print right now. About to tag the opening print. If it can tag the opening print and give us some sort of hammer candle, potentially look for an NQ long to play a little catch up. But we'll see how we react. Because so there's like two ways you could look at the divergence, right? You could look at NQ is going to play a little catch up to the other indexes here, or NQ is going to start to drag us down a little bit. My expectations on the day are low. I'm just not getting vibes of like a big trend day one way or the other, and I think today's vibe definitely feels like kind of a rangy, slower, choppier day of price action to me. So my excitement level is definitely not high to like want to throw on risk right now.
Yeah, tomorrow's GDP, so we could see some hogwash today.
NQ spiked into the level. The 2-minute gave us a little lower wick that held the opening print. A break above this 2-minute high entry would be valid long. So entry would be at 24.55.25, I think. You could do a stop at 423-ish, but if it triggers, it hasn't triggered. We need the 2-minute buy to trigger, which right now it doesn't look like it's going to. All right, gold, keep going, baby. Keep going, baby.
It's finishing up its 15-minute candle now.
All right, NQ 2-minute looking like potential entry here. I think you could take the NQ long here.
Yeah.
Actually, I am going to. I want to see this 2-minute high break here. I don't think I'm going to take it on my Funder Pro account, but I'm going to take it since I took a couple losses here. I'm taking one of my other accounts, but it didn't trigger actually, so I'm not entering yet. Just to show you guys what I'm watching for, or what I wanted to see. So we have NQ, little bit weaker than the other indexes right now, pulling back into this yellow line's our opening print. It's where we open. And this is the 5-minute, but I'm looking for the 2-minute to trigger break over the previous 2-minute high, which we didn't get. So as this candle formed a bit of a hammer, a red hammer, but held the opening print, and this gave us a little spike, and it looked like we were going to break above. Had we broken above this 2-minute high, I was going to take an entry, but I didn't because it never triggered her. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We're going to stay patient. Back over the opening print while the other indexes are strong has me interested, but I would still prefer we trade 409 first. I would like to see us trade 409. That would make me feel better about things one way or the other. I'll go back to Brian here since he's in a trade.
Push him down, push him down.
Yeah, Ashton, yeah. I agree with you.
Now I took some off the table.
Cash Kari, he is like a funny, there's a funny quote with him where he talks about like the Federal Reserve like having unlimited money. And it's just like, bro, what? It was like the yeah, you have unlimited money if you want to continue to just print it and destroy
right.
destroy like make inflation high as ever. All right, so 409 traded on NQ. I'm not gonna you could potentially just say, hey, I think this level is gonna hold now that we traded. I'm gonna take a early aggressive long entry here. I'm gonna hold off and let the price develop a little bit more before I enter. YM still holding up really nice. RTY is pulling back into its opening print. VIX just made a new high since New York Open. ES has pulled back into its opening print.
My charts on S&P, wow. Chop, chop, chop.
Yeah, we haven't gone anywhere. Choppy overnight session. And with this little pullback here, choppy since we've opened New York for the first 20. We're only, what are we? I guess we're almost, yeah, we're 20 minutes in. Gold came down and traded its lower level to the tick right now that I had. So I wouldn't necessarily trade it yet, but I would watch gold right here to see if it it's gonna break down lower, try to hold.
Yeah, there it broke a little bit further just now. So I did take 50% off the table at 50 pips. That's an easy rule to remember, right? 50 at 50.
Yeah.
I had to learn the hard way that when I strayed away from taking out at that and just simply went off market movement, I started to profit a lot less over the last few months. So I definitely went back to getting it off the table at 50 pips. Such a popular gold move. Seems like last year 40 pips was pretty popular. I'd say 50 was popular then too. I was just stuck at 40.
All right. Well, happy to stay hands off for now.
The indexes might be doing a little weird movements, possibly because of GDP tomorrow.
Yeah, and certain data like that just depends. I mean, sometimes you move, it will make a move beforehand, but then a lot of the times it'll kind of just play the waiting game and it'll kind of range and wait for the data. The YM relative strength right now is interesting. Yes, NQ starting to break down lower. R2Y has now broken below its opening print. VIX, the volatility index, is starting to push pretty strong here. Yeah. NQ starting to get close to its New York low from yesterday. It's about another 30 points lower. No Carmen today. Carmen San Diego. I wanted to hear if he got a challenge or not.
Yeah. So the current 15-minute candle on gold is definitely below its point of control for the day, for the session. So I kind of look at 2 points of control. One is based on how many bars I actually have on my screen, which is the current blue dotted line right there. The one for today's session is right about here. Actually, right where I went in. That's the current profile volume for the day, the Forex session. So we're below the volume profile point of control for that, and we're below the point of control for all these. So volume is definitely picking up on the low side on the bearish side of gold at the moment. If you're watching the 5-minute, gold's pretty much melting. Still, one of my concerns is that darn little trend, because we have, oh, hey, I can't ever use that thing. If I measure it to point B, which I'm popular for doing, then we are currently below that. So a lot of times on these, if you follow trend lines, Tyler, you'll see wicks go through the line.
Yeah.
And leads you to say, hence why some theories of people who draw trend lines will say, oh, I measure it to the body, like that. Some will say, no, I measure it to the tip, to the wick. And personally, I do measure it to the wick, but I know a lot of people measure it to the body. I don't think it matters. I think you just need to be roughly close, but you need to stay consistent. What's the one thing you've learned over the last many years of trading, or when you start becoming more, when you went like professional day trader? My biggest thing I picked up on was stay consistent with your methods. Otherwise, your probability will be skewed.
Yeah, it's a good point. So the indexes have broken down lower here. ES is traded down into 58.13. NQ traded into its New York low yesterday, which is at 2361.75. The next lower level I have on NQ is at 335.50. The way VIX is starting to push, I think maybe we come and see that. YM still holding up. Nice.
Golly, the current 15-minute candle on the S&P is just so bearish.
Yeah. No, the breakdown's starting to get pretty ugly. Yeah.
But that is a bounce getting ready to happen, if you ask me, or at least a short-term half-hour pullback. S&P is way too extended bearish right now to me. Gold melting. Glad I'm still on the short. Yes, Ashton, I'm still on the short.
Yeah, that's
I have
that
taken
looks like a good meltdown here.
Yeah, I
There's a
removed
little triple top on gold
which. Oh yeah.
that it broke down from.
Yeah.
Just like it's interesting. The Forex chart shows that like if you look at the last three like highs where it rejected, your Forex chart shows like the first of the three being the like highest price point, where the futures chart they're almost like all exactly the same price.
Is it particular? Is it maybe the wicks?
Actually, let's see. You're looking at the 50-minute, but I don't think it would look any different. Let me see. I'm looking at the 5. I'll share a picture. Oh wow, we're getting real ugly here. Let's go, baby. It's gotta be a nice trade for you, Brian. Well, I missed this short. I wanted kind of a reaction or a test from underneath on 409, but we just gone straight down.
Yeah, this sounds funny. This is from the voice of a experienced. I consider myself experienced nowadays. The big bearish candle on gold has me concerned because this is when you better take partials because it could just pop back and make that just a long shakeout.
Yeah, this 15-minute candle on the indexes is getting pretty wild.
The 5-minute for gold is within its ATR range.
It's like 150 point candle on NQ to the downside. 15-minute candle. RTY breakdown, VIX pumping. YM's still holding up, which is wild.
S&P. Let me flip my chart. See what else. I'm listening to you, and I'm kind of coinciding. It sounds like they're all different parts of their charts on the indices, but they're all similar New York movements.
Caetano, I missed the short. I haven't taken anything yet since we started streaming. Brian is in I think he's down to pretty much runners at this point, but he took a nice gold short because, or I'm sorry, Caetano. Because Rise for FunderPro Futures, Rise is the payout method. So you just create a Rise account. And they send it to Rise, and then you can take the withdrawal from Rise. I think you link your bank account up with Rise. Peace out, Ashton. In a landscaping business in Florida, so busy. Oh yeah, you're getting busy. My Ashton, I don't know if you're still on, but my dad owns a landscaping company. They have like a full garden center and like bulk yard for contractors and stuff. But then they also have like a bunch of crews that go out as well. I did that for about 12 years of my life. I worked there. Borrowed particles, yeah, it's starting to look pretty ugly out there. That 15-minute close really ugly.
Looks like the indices are hitting the beginning of their previous day consolidation zones. Might start seeing bounces up now. maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
I would expect yeah, a little bit of consolidation before we do anything. Probably makes the most amount of sense.
I could play gold, ride it out, or I could go ahead and exit out. I think it's going to be toppled for the day. I see it. Yeah, I could be wrong, but man, this is what it does.
We'll
It could
see
break
here. NQ's
further.
got the level at 335.50. So we spiked through, we're back into it. See how we react. Yeah, but so we look at the chart, not just the New York session. The NQ low is at 290-ish, 290-ish. So we got about 10 minutes or 10 points away from putting in that engulfing bar, like borrowed particles said. Because I'm pretty sure Rise is the only payout option on FunderPro futures right now.
See here on the 4-hour, gold is kind of in a big consolidation zone. 4-hour.
Yeah, because it says currently Rise is the only payout method, but we're working on bringing other payout features, but currently just Rise. Oh, okay. The Fed just started. The Fed speaker just came on too, by the way.
Europe. Flat on gold.
I like it. I like it.
There's a difference between using a conservative runner and a conservative profitable exit. Like we keep talking about, I'm keeping runners a little longer now, but I'm also happy to exit in profit when I have enough reasons telling me on the 4-hour, the 1-hour, and the 15-minute charts to say potential, 51% bounce area. So I did not fully exit just now because of a lot of little 5 and 10% thoughts. This was, and it could go a little further. Gold can come right down in here and move around, but I think it could also do that like all day. And if I want, I'd say on the 1-hour chart, just from experience, if I want to get a lot lower in gold, I feel like it's either going to push through right now, which I don't want to take the risk of it bouncing, or that could take another 4 hours for it to do that movement. Just, what did it already move to since I went in, Tyler? I went in around 25, 15. That's a 100 pip move.
Yeah.
So I got my last runner off at 100 pips. Ah, screw that. I'm not going to play that game. Be all mad because I... that RSI I talk about. This RSI has a moving average going like that. And I always overlap it with another one that currently is coming in like this. People can't see my other charts because we're only supposed to show FunderPro, understandably. This is what I look at on one of my other charts, by the way. This is what I see on the relative strength index. Where the purple line is the default settings on the RSI, where I have a 14 length and a 14 smooth moving average or simple moving average. That's the yellow. So long trends, I compare the purple to the yellow. And if anyone if I ever had this up at the same time, I never really take trades when my RSI is, I won't go long if it's below it's MA, vice versa for the other direction. And then I have
nice exit on gold, by the way.
Yeah, it might hold. And then I do
bounce
a 14 length on the red line with a 5 length MA. So in other words, this red line is a very fast moving average for the RSI, and the yellow is slow. When those are coming down, it builds my confidence. That's the only indicator I actually leave on my screens 24 hours a day. I don't solely trade off of it. It just helps me. It's saved my ass a few times in that maybe I saw something incorrect because I didn't exercise all the time frames. So that RSI is just a good, like, hey, you know, you're above or below this line. You might want to rethink your 30-minute or your 1-hour chart real fast. So sometimes people ask, how do you know when to take profit? And last week or last live stream, I was talking about, when in doubt, I might go by an RSI movement.
Because to answer your question, why not crypto, just like the Forex account? So with futures, when you purchase a challenge, it's a reoccurring monthly fee, which you can't do with crypto payments. So they didn't launch it with that being an option. But they are working on it's supposed to come out this month from what I understand, but we're running out of time here in this month, so we'll see. But basically your crypto is coming. You're gonna be able to buy the futures account with crypto, and then you'll get an email like a day or two before the renewal process would be up if your account is still active and you haven't passed or failed it yet. And it'll say, hey, if you want to renew this for another 30 days, you have to pay again with crypto because you can't do auto payments with crypto. And I think maybe that's why you can't do the payouts, because they didn't have it where you could purchase with crypto. But it's coming. They're definitely working on it. You know, futures is still relatively new for the company, for the brand. So just have a little patience, but it will be coming here. I almost took a short on NQ there. We had the 5-minute 3-bar play to the downside. Got that little spike lower, but I'm going to stay hands off. Like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of faith in today either way, and I don't want to buy the low end of a rangy choppy day. I don't want to sell the low end of a range day.
Yeah. But would you play, forgive me if you've already explained this, but would you play the lower time frame at all?
Yeah, like I almost did just try to scalp off the. I have like a lower level here on NQ, and it would have been like a quick winner, but it's like it's already seeing a little bit of bounce back. Like I'm happy to have avoided it.
Yeah.
Um, I would like to see if I was going to take a short, I'd like to see probably a little bit more consolidation, maybe a rally back up into the 360 area, which is only another 40 points or so, but.
I flipped my indexes over to indices, I should say. I always try to pluralize index. I flipped them to the 5, and yeah, it's almost like for my S&P 500 that I'm studying, it sank and then it just chop, chop, chop.
Yeah.
I would definitely be afraid to take, but man, but it's staying low, like on that 5-minute
Yeah,
chart, like it was.
consolidating near the lows. Yeah, I think we could see another leg down. I definitely don't think that's out of the question. I think an outside bar in the daily chart is pretty ugly. We could start to get a little uglier. I also think that we were in that super strong downtrend. We've seen a little bit of bounce. I think bulls could have started to get excited that maybe the low is in and got themselves trapped, and we could squeeze them to the downside. So I don't think it's out of the question for things to get ugly to the downside. I definitely don't. It just I would have preferred to have the entry up around for the 409 area. But another leg down definitely seems likely at this point. Or very possible, that's for sure. VIX is continuing to push higher.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I would not go long right now. I would feel too out of my element. But
Yeah, because I know you're talking about the payout. I think the reason it wasn't offered as a payout is because it wasn't offered as like a payment method at all. But I do think it's coming. Just not here yet.
so let's see, on the 15-minute chart with gold. Have a minute 45 left on the 15-minute candle. I was monitoring the current candle on gold to see if it was a re-entry point for the short side once it finishes, but I'd want it to be a little bit taller. I want to see the wick on that thing come up and then just remelt. So I'd call that like my third setup. So I would only be going in at like 1/4 of the position size. I don't think I've ever seen that while we're live streaming though. I do it a lot when we're not, but it's like Asia, London, later in New York. It just seems to never happen while we're live streaming that I fully exit, then I re-enter partial, same direction. Carmen's on.
Hey, Carmen San Diego, what up, baby?
So did we get a FunderPro challenge or not?
Yeah, Carmen, did you get started? Any trades today with a little bit of skin on the line?
I did. Listen. Oh, the indices do something. Flip over to NAS. Golden Q. What's in Q now?
Brian, I gotta step away 1 second. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Yeah, don't worry about that, Carmen. We all go through many of those things. Many accounts. We trade demo a lot for the live stream. Tyler and I have multiple accounts across different platforms. We use, a lot of times we were using demo for the live stream. That's the chart we'll be showing. So we don't make any sudden moves on our actual capitals at times. I do, however, I copy trade across a couple accounts. But I'm usually using the New York Open during the live stream to beef up some of my evals, my challenges. Yeah, Carmen. Most your good traders will say, or at least admit to, blowing a high-end number of evaluations. And that's sometimes what makes the futures prop firms and like FunderPro's futures luring right now, is because you can buy into those things, $50, 100, whatever size you're looking at. And if you blow it, you're not blowing like $500 or $1,000 like you could on a Forex eval. So still watching gold. I was a moment ago with Tyler, I was talking about possibly re-entering on the short side because of the 15-minute candle. It's so neutral right here. I just didn't like that it didn't come up as far as I wanted it to. I wanted it to pull back and catch it on the fake out right here, but it didn't come up as high as I wanted it to. Doesn't mean it's finished. There it goes. But I'm not in it now. But I did take about a $1,300 grab and all those red candles there.
I'm back. So just looking at the comments, Hans. When the market creates a gap like it did on NAS, I'm always scared. When is it going to go back and fill? What's your opinion? So yeah, I mean, I think that's a valid thing to consider. I don't know if you necessarily need to be scared of it, but yes, gaps do normally fill, but they don't have to fill immediately or right away or whatever. Sometimes they fill quickly. Sometimes they take a while to fill. But yes, they do normally get filled. But instead of being scared of it, I mean, just it could be it could factor into a trade idea if you know gaps do normally get filled. And we put in a gap like that we got Sunday into Monday. Maybe this week you kind of look for a gap fill trade and add that into one of your potential setups or opportunity. But yeah, I mean, gaps do normally get filled. It's just in terms of like a timetable, you know what I mean? No one really knows. Sometimes it's quickly, sometimes it takes a while. But with the way we're starting to break down here, who knows? Maybe we see this one on the quicker side. Starting to get pretty ugly. I wish I would have taken that short now that I talked myself out of, but we're starting to get this second leg down here. We've officially put in an outside bar on the daily chart where we tested above yesterday's highs, failed it, and now we're under yesterday's lows.
So on the 15-minute gold chart, you can see what I marked all the lows that it's done in the past, I don't know, 24, 36 hours. And if this is the current, wouldn't be the low for today, but it would be just on the 15-minute. If that holds, you see this? I mean, this is just sideways, sideways, down, down, up. I don't see any low risk. I don't see an opportunity for my style of trading to re-enter that short.
Yeah, when I look at gold, I'm like looking at that. I'm like, man, I just play the range. Like, I don't know. Do you buy the low end of this range here when let it go back up? Oh, I was talking about this earlier, Brian. How the gold futures chart and Thinkorswim looked different.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, I just wanted to show you specifically, like, we were looking at the 15-minute. I took a picture. Where did it go? Oh, that's right.
So sometimes I run the futures charts at the same time as my Forex, looking for those variances and potential gap fills. Not that that's my priority way of trading, but I do kind of watch for those differences. So what time frame is that there?
So this is the 15-minute like you were looking at, but this so there's like the three I had said about like the triple top, but when you look on the Forex chart, this first the first of the three rejections was clearly higher than the next two, and here it's like slightly lower, if anything, almost the same. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah. It is. Sometimes I've thought, is that because futures moves in those incremental segments, for lack of a better word, I don't know what they call that, or Forex is
maybe.
free-handed.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Look at me making up terms here. And I'm just indicating that Forex can trade on the penny while futures.
It has to. They're normally I think it's every 10 cents, depending on. I don't know. There's a couple different gold futures options, but
will that vary on micro versus minis and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, hence why I've never traded anything but the micros.
Yeah.
I want that flexibility.
Well, at this point, I feel like I missed the short opportunity. Brian caught a nice short. I'm the 100K account that I was trading. I was in some drawdown, got it out of drawdown and into a couple $100 of profit. I had a good day yesterday. and lost today, but that account's still up about, I think I'm up like $1,200 or so right now. The 100K FunderPro futures account. But I don't see anything I want to do right now, so I'm just probably gonna wrap it up unless anybody has any questions. Yeah, Hans, it does look like I could see this week. RME101 says, Tyler, do you like filling gaps? What do you mean by that? But I don't normally trade the gap fills like as a strategy personally. Just because generally speaking, it's a counter trend trade. And so, right, if something's gapping up, like clearly we're uptrending. Something's gapping down, clearly we're downtrending. So I think it's a very valid trade strategy. It's just the way I trade. I'm normally looking to trade continuation or with the trend, as opposed to trying to catch the reversal.
Gold might take it. Might take the bait. It might,
Carmen,
not me.
I just saw Carmen didn't do the platform right and didn't set the stop loss and blew it immediately. Oh no. Did you do a Forex account or a futures account, Carmen? Sorry, Brian, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Nah, it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. When you stepped away for a moment, we were talking about that's where we were in our chat. Forex, okay.
Forex, okay. Carmen, did you use Trade Locker? What I would suggest doing is when you're doing like the order menu, if you go to click on the risk button and select, a dollar amount. I'm up $70 on a 5K account. I guess it should be. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think the 5K profit target is like $500, right? For a phase. So I mean, you're 1/5 of the way there. No need to rush it. So yeah, if you're on Trade Locker, Carmen, and maybe you haven't figured out now, it's just like that rookie one-time mistake type of thing. But that's funny too. Like we talked about you trading demo and how you gotta at some point put a little risk on the line, and maybe doing it with a prop firm account's the way to go. And how like little things can change just with like your psychology or little errors or stuff like that. It's a good learning experience probably for you, even just that like placing the things wrong and not having the stop loss, and probably a good learning experience.
Way to go, Scrooge.
Yeah, Scrooge. Yeah, that's all right, Scrooge. It's still good. And if it's you're $700 away, you're 150 away 3 days ago. If you only gave back $650 over a span of 3 days, your risk management's good. Like that's all right. You hit a streak, a downturn, bad luck, whatever, right? But if you can go through 3 days of losing $200 without going on tilt, like you'll make that back with one good trade, right? Or two good trades. So you just gotta stay the course and not let the risk management start to slip. Like in your situation, Scrooge, what traders normally do is they start to get frustrated because over 3 days you took loss that added up. That were all small, $100, $200 losses, whatever, $200 losses, whatever it may be, right? So then you really would be like, I need to make this 700 back, or the 650 back, or 550 back in this one trade. So you size it up, and you take another loss that's even bigger, and then you start to do the whole work. So keep the risk management in check, keep your size in check, just like you've been doing. I think you're fine if you only lost $550 over 3 days. Like your risk management's in check. Just got to catch a solid winner. It does make a difference in your mindset, like much scarier. Yeah, see, I mean, it's just there's even though, you got the 5K account, obviously everybody's financial situation is different. So the 5K account may be expensive to you. So it may, feel like there's a lot on the line still. Um, but yeah, even if it's just, that $100 or $200 that you paid the account, having not only the risk of that you could lose the money that you spent on the challenge, but then also um, having the potential opportunity that if it does go well, there's upside to it where you can start taking payouts. Like that's also, it's not just, oh, there's a little bit of money that you're risking now. It's like, oh, if I make the right decisions here, there's a little bit upside too. So you have the emotional side on both sides of the coin there. Yeah, exactly. Just like Ashton said, Carmen, like you you can I think it's great that you have the dedication, the passion to like watch the charts and the technicals and follow price action just in strictly a demo environment with no money on the line for as long as you have. But at a certain point, you've gotten all those reps in and you're not really gaining as much until you start adding in a little bit of these emotional aspects that come along with trading, because the emotional aspects of trading is typically what most traders struggle with. Most traders can start to get a feel for the chart and price action. Um, it's just when their emotions start to get involved, they start to make decisions that, like, even though they shouldn't, they do it because their emotions are telling them to do something, right? So I think this is for sure the next step that's required for you, Carmen, in your trading, getting a little bit of those emotions involved. I think every trader would agree with that. There's something I love about the name Uduza Jerry.
Good try on the pronunciation. I don't know how you say that.
And so that's it, Corbin. You have the edge that you've learned that you have um, while demo trading. You need to now learn the skill of thinking the exact same way that you have while utilizing that edge or implementing your edge via demo. You need to now build the skill of like, okay, now that there's like some money on the line, I can look at the charts the same way that I did when there was nothing on the line. I can be as carefree about it because I know, I know my stat. I would imagine doing demo that long, you've tracked your stash, your win rate, your where you'd take profit, where you'd exit, right? You have some data, right? So you got to just stick to that expectancy over time when there's money on the line.
Yeah. Maybe size down your trades till the loss doesn't mean anything to you till you get enough practice.
And to be honest with you, you've probably been trading larger on demo than you will with the 5K account, right? 5K account, I imagine whatever you're trading, you should be using, 0.01, 0.02 lots if you're trading the indexes for sure.
Definitely recommend starting on the lower accounts like that, though. 5,000 better than starting out on a 200K.
Yeah, when you're just getting started, like the situation Carmen's in, I agree. I interviewed, I talked about on Monday, right? I had an interview with the trader. It was a FunderPro Forex trader. He's only 24 years old and he took a $32,000 payout a little while ago.
So that's really good.
Most of it, I think all of it pretty much from one gold trade. The way he trades, he only buys a 200K account. He's like, if you're going to use a prop firm, I think you should take the max amount of leverage that they give you. Not everyone can afford to do that, but that's the way it's the way he approaches it. But no, when the interview comes out, it should be good. Kid was definitely a hustler. He was always working like side hustles and stuff to have money to be able to trade, and had a 200K account. But this is back when gold was like really trending hard, and he basically took a trade, I think during like the Asia session, and his plan was to try to hold it through New York, almost like a swing trade. How I've mentioned how like I'll take a trade during the Asian session and just kind of let it run with the stop loss. I think he did something like that on his first entry, and then when he came back to the charts, like it was like in his favor, working in his favor, but he added to it on a pullback, and it continued to work in his favor. Then I got another big pullback. He added to it again. So I think he added into it 3 times. So he altogether had 4 entries, all long entries on gold. And gold just had like a really strong trending day all day. And but he obviously in the interview he explains how when he was adding into the trade, how he was moving his stops on the previous entries into profit. So if he would have gotten stopped in the new entry in a loss, the original entry still would have stopped him in a profit, where he still would have been net positive. So like the trade kind of became risk free, and he just kind of kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, which is similar to sometimes the way I like to trade, with catching a trend and adding to it and stuff like that. But yeah, hearing his story and how he did it and stuff is, I think is good. So definitely keep an eye out for that interview.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think he may be down to come on the stream one day too, and hang out with us a bit and talk.
Oh, good. It's all about hopefully that's his edge, or he knows how much of that was
Yeah,
in
he
his
goes into
favor that
that.
day.
He goes into that a little bit too.
Because everybody remember, day trading is probably 1 degree from gambling. It's that 1 degree that gives you edge, though, makes it not gambling. If you don't have that edge, then you are flipping a coin. Risk management, maybe it's 2 degrees from gambling because you have risk. Well, you can do risk management and gambling. But you see, when you study cards like blackjack or stuff like that, there's a reason professional card players stay professional, right? They keep winning. They manage their losses. There's a reason it's the same people come back and win the national tournaments over and over again.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point. It's
the edge.
Yeah,
it's the edge.
I think the psychology behind trading and poker is extremely similar.
Very, very similar. Yeah, just keep in mind that.
The risk management and the psychology behind it all. Yeah.
If you have no edge at all, then you're playing roulette. You're on the roulette wheel. Well, gold is doing what I thought it might do. Any further breakouts on it are going to be purely reactive in the moment. Nothing I would take. On my 5-minute, it's actually re-entering into a buy opportunity. Maybe in another minute or so. 15-minute, it's at the beginning stages of a buy. That all has to play out though. So it won't be a buy without a little bit of pullback. So if I go long on gold, it wouldn't be for a while. And at that point, London's closed when I think it might be a buy. A buy with confirmation that I like, that is. Some people might say it's a buy at 5 minutes ago. Jim probably bought it like 20 minutes ago. But yeah, and I'm watching the indices and I'm seeing just fluctuation on that bearish movement. It looks like it's seeing how many people in London want to wrap it up before it sort of goes sideways, maybe. So I think that's all I have to trade on the live stream today.
Yeah, I think I'm cool with just wrapping it up today as well. Remember code RISKLIFE if you want to purchase a challenge with the best available discount. We'll be back on Friday, and we will see you guys then. Peace out,
And
everybody.
a
Trade
lot
safe.
of times, sorry.
Go ahead.
A lot of times we make some pretty cool trades on Fridays.
Yeah,
so.
Friday's been good to us. I don't think last Friday, but other than that, we've been hot on Fridays. So we had a
Most
good
Fridays,
Monday.
yeah.
You caught a nice short today. I didn't even take a trade on stream today, which is rare, but we'll be back at it on Friday. So see you guys then. Peace out, everybody.